One of the most transformational features of the Axopars is how they've designed the Pilothouse to be so ergonomic, simple, and user-friendly to maximize your time on the water. And in this video, we're going to be talking about what all the special design elements that Axopar has chosen to ensure that your time on the water is maximized. So the first design element that I really appreciate when operating the Axopar 37 is the full walk-around nature of the boat. It makes for solo docking this boat much easier than it otherwise would be. The sliding door right next to the helm here, your proximity to the spring cleat, and also the ease of your ability to put fenders and dock lines out when you have this full walk-around. And I appreciated that it's on the starboard side right here. Sometimes when you're docking the boat, you're not always able to choose which side of the boat you can dock on. So I really appreciate how you can also do the same thing on the port side. On the port side of the boat, you have a nice sliding door. It's just as easy to put fenders and dock lines out on the port side as it is on the starboard side. If you didn't have the full walk-arounds, you just lose a lot of the practicality of boating when you're trying to sneak into foreign places and foreign docks. You just lose that if you don't have the full walk-around Pilothouse. The full walk-arounds also give you the ability to just have more easy traffic flow if you have a bunch of people on board the boat. So you don't have a single lane of traffic. You can have 2 lanes of traffic walking all through the boat, and it just makes for a much nicer flow while you're on board the boat as well. Another design element that I really appreciate from a running characteristic is Axopar really cares about this vertical center of gravity on board the boat. And what that means is how much weight is above the waterline on their boats. The higher the center of gravity that you have, the more tender the boat is when it comes to rocking, both at rest and while underway. When you go into the Pilothouse of the Axopar, you can see, from the side decks, you're stepping down into the Pilothouse. And what that means is they're continuing to push the weight as low as humanly possible for maximum ride comfort for you and your guests. And once you're in the Pilothouse and you're standing at the helm here, love the design elements of the helm area, because you can also have a nice standing driving position. You're never standing straight up like this when you're driving a boat. You're always sort of leaning back, and it gives you really great visibility looking forward at a standing position. And then of course, if you choose to sit down and relax for a longer run, you have the ability to slide your seat a little bit further forward here and have really great ergonomics at a seating position as well. So as the helmsman and sort of a driver focused sort of boat, it really makes it easy and comfortable to run this boat. In addition to the ergonomics of the running features, I really appreciate how Axopar has put in some design elements to make the boat easier to run at night as well. With these forward-leaning windshields in this dark dash here, it really eliminates the glare that you would normally get from a reverse windshield from your screens. So you can have much improved night vision as a result of this forward-leaning windshield. The forward-leaning windshield also makes it more convenient because it helps prevent from solar gain into the Pilothouse. And by solar gain, I mean just if you had a reverse windshield like on your car, the heat from the sun just can heat up your car much easier. Same thing with boats, but with the Axopar and the forward-leaning windshield, you really don't get that solar gain that you typically would in a traditional Pilothouse. Also, when it comes to running in really hot conditions on board the boat, you can slide these doors open. You can open up this roof as well. And right now, how this boat is currently set up, I have no more or less protection than a traditional center console. I basically have the console right in front of me here. Air is able to come in from my sides and from above. So this is a really wonderful driving experience in hot weather, because you're just like driving a center console. But what is a real game changer above and beyond a normal center console is that when the weather does turn on you and it gets chilly, you can just slide these doors, close, you can press the moonroof here and have that be completely sealed off from any weather, and all of a sudden you're in the protection of a nice Pilothouse. The versatility and the functionality that these 2 doors and this roof offers is wonderful to be boating in a variety of different weather conditions. Also, similar to most center consoles, most often the helmsman has the best seat in the house because the helmsman is blocked by the console from wind and waves and whatnot. It's easy to forget about all your passengers. With this pilot house arrangement, have a wonderful seating experience. You can sit back here. You've got this aft glass shield, which helps shield all the noise that you can get from the outboards. And so it really blocks all that noise out and makes for a very quiet running experience for not just the helmsman, but for your guests as well. And when you're looking at these boats from the exterior and you've never really been in the cabin underway, you can get the sense that maybe you might feel more enclosed, but when you're seated down in this area, the last thing you really feel like is enclosed on this boat, particularly if you have these doors opened up and the roof open. You really feel like you're in a outside environment. When you're looking around, the windows are at my shoulder level here, so you can look down at the water. It's really great for people that have a tendency to get seasick, because you can always look at the horizon no matter where you're sitting on the boat. And also, as I mentioned earlier, because the center of gravity is much lower on the Axopars, it helps reduce the pendulum effect that you can get with some of these other bigger center consoles where you're going from the aft cabin and you're taking a couple steps up into the pilot house. The higher up you're sitting above the water level, the more of a pendulum effect you're going to feel when you have any movement on the boat. And because you're sitting at such relatively low to the water, it reduces that pendulum effect and it makes it feel much more comfortable for your guests as well. And because you can regulate how much air you have coming into the pilot house by virtue of opening and closing the doors, depending on wind direction, and by opening and closing the moonroof, your guests can stay nice and comfortable at any speeds. Not just the helmsman, but your whole crew will remain comfortable and happy while ripping around at 34 knots. But that being said, in certain climates, customers do want to have air conditioning, and you can certainly install air conditioning in the pilot house of the Axopars as well. We always try to encourage customers to keep the boat nice and simple, and maybe use the boat first without air conditioning to see if they really need it. Because after customers have a season with the boat, many times they realize that, you know what, they don't really need air conditioning in this boat. But one thing that we do often install in the pilot house of the Axopars, particularly because we have customers in the northern latitudes in the United States, is a diesel cabin heater. The diesel heater really can help extend your season much further than you could with more of a traditional boat. So this diesel heater gives you the ability to power the cabin with diesel heat using very little energy. You can run the diesel heater all night long if you wanted to, and it provides very warm and dry heat into the pilot house. So whether you're sleeping on board the boat or if you're running into December or whatnot up in Maine, for an example, you can still be out on the water and be comfortable because of that diesel heater. So that design element is really key for certain customers. And then finally, from a simple design element, you have easy proximity to getting things on board the boat, just like your easy proximity to your refrigerator for you or your crew to grab some beverages. And you've got some nice storage solutions with this tabletop here, and you even have the ability to do some cooking with a sink here and a grill off the port. So the versatility that you have in all sorts of weather conditions with a number of folks on board the boat makes the pilot house arrangement of the Axopar super special, all translating into more time on the water for you. I hope you enjoyed watching this video detailing the pilot house design of the Axopar 37. If you have any questions for us, or if we've missed any details, please leave a comment in the section below and we'd be happy to answer any of your questions.